Hello everyone, welcome again to our YouTube channel Ielts by Neil. Today we are going to discuss one of the very important type of question which generally occurs in writing task 1. So as we know, Ielts have 4 sections, that is listening, reading, writing and speaking. With this writing section we have 2 tasks, task 1 and task 2. So this line graph is one of the type of questions in task 1. There are around 6 to 7 types of different questions. We have covered all the types of questions and we have made a separate dedicated video to each type. I'll leave the link in description below, you can check it out. So we're gonna cover how to write line graph today and what are the things that we have to take care and what to include, what not to include. Before moving on, let me tell you how many types of task 1 there are. So this is, I'm talking about the academic, okay? In general training, it's normally a letter writing for task 1, okay? So this picture representation, it's only in academic, right? Now, the bar graph, pie chart, table, map, the process and then flow chart, okay? And we're gonna cover this line graph today. I will leave all the links in the description below. Please check it out, okay? They are really useful for you. First of all, let's have a look at this line graph. So basically, what is a line graph? So for example, this is an X and Y axis, okay? And the data is shown in forms of lines. This is called a line graph. For example, here it says the line graph shows 3 different crimes in England and Wales in 1970 to 2005. So from 1970 to 2005, 3 types of crime, which is number 1, number 2 and number 3, okay? And they are mentioned in millions, right? So what we have to do is you should write at least 150 words. So we have to write a report in 150 words minimum, okay? We can go more than 150, that's fine, but we should never go less than 150. All right, since it's a report, so it will be a formal. We should not use the pronouns like I, we, you, and all those informal vocabulary is not allowed, okay? Before we move on to writing this line graph, let's understand what is the structure for task 1. So I've told you in the videos before that the structure for task 1 will always be the same. Doesn't matter if it's a line graph, if it's a bar graph, or if it's a flow chart, pie chart, whatever it is, okay? The structure will always be the same for all the task 1, okay? Now, see what is the structure. Introduction, in which you will just paraphrase the question statement, okay? Paraphrase the question. Paraphrasing means using the synonyms, okay, or using some different words other than what's mentioned in the question statement, but the meaning should always be same. Meaning should not change, okay? Very important. Now, overall statement, you have to talk about the main features, okay? You don't have to write the values, or you don't have to give any detailed information, okay? Always make sure this. First and second body paragraph. Now this depends on you, if you want to make 2 body paragraphs or if you want to make 3 body paragraphs, okay? Whatever the data is given, for example, this is the line graph, and you have to divide the data. You can talk in the first body paragraph this half and second body paragraph this half, or this is line graph, okay? You can make 3 parts, first part, second part, third part, okay? It's up to us however you want to make it, right? So you have to make sure that you organize the data in the perfect way possible. Now let's start writing the line graph. So let's see how the introduction will look like. So introduction is the other way of writing this question statement. So you can say line graph will be the line graph shows, you can say illustrates or provides the information, 3 different crimes, 3 different offenses, you can say, okay, or you can leave it at crime. in England and Wales from this to this. Simple, right? So let's see how the introduction will look like. So if you have a look here, it says the line graph compares. See, it's comparing here. Okay, the number of 3 different kinds of crimes. We can write offenses or crimes is also okay. Again, in England and Wales during the period from 1970 to 2005. So from this to this, crimes are compared, okay, for England and Wales, right? So this is our introduction. If you can see here, I've changed some words, but the meaning of this is exactly the same what the question statement is telling us, right? Now coming on to the overall statement. Now for overall statement, as I've told you that you have to write the main feature. Okay, now what would you consider main feature in this one? For example, you can say this blue one is car theft. You can say car theft was the highest at any given point of time from this to 2005. See, this car theft was the highest. If you compare the values here in the millions, the car theft is the highest. And the street robbery, this was the lowest. Okay, you can write this way. So this is one of the main feature. I'll show you one more. If you have a look closely at the line graph, if you have a look, this one and this one means this is car theft and this is house burglary. If you have a close look at 1995, they are decreasing, right? It's going down and it's going down again. But in case of street robbery, it's increasing. So this is a common thing that these first two are decreasing and this one, street robbery, is increasing. I mean, this can also be your overall statement. Okay, overall statement can be anything. Okay, there's no such parameter in the IELTS that you have to write this or that way, right? Whatever you think is the main feature, you can write that. Okay, but just don't mention those small values. For example, 1970, this was 0.4 millions and this was 0.6 million. So I mean, you don't have to give the detailed information in the overall statement. I mean, you have to do this in the body paragraphs, right? Now let's see how the overall statement should look like. So this is my overall statement. Okay, I've said all in all, car theft and house burglary are the main crimes in England and Wales. So car theft are the blue ones, means this one, and house burglary are yellow ones, right? They are the main because they are the most popular. Street robbery is really low. Okay, after that you can say while the figure for street robbery was the lowest, right? This is the lowest. These two are the highest and this is the lowest. Okay, now coming on to the body paragraphs. Now for the body paragraphs, what we have to do is we have to divide the data. Okay, by divide, what I mean is that you can talk about first body paragraph car theft, second body paragraph house burglary, and third body paragraph street robbery. Or first body paragraph you can cover first two, and the second body paragraph you can talk about street robbery. Or you can do first body paragraph this one and the second one it could be this one. Okay, anything the way you want, right? Or if you want to go year wise, you can talk about first body paragraph 1970 to 85 and then from this to this in the second body paragraph. Okay, whatever is more comfortable for you, please do that way. Okay, there is no such parameter that you have to go this way or that way, right? You can choose the way you want, okay, and the way you are more comfortable with it, right? All right, now let me show you how the first body paragraph will look like. If you look here, it says in 1970, so I've started from here. The number of car theft was the highest. Car theft is the blue one, is the highest, right? Which was twice the figure for house burglary. So house burglary for 0.24, it's a twice, that's correct. And nearly 8 times the figures for street robbery. This is street robbery, and 8 times for the car theft. Mhm. So what I've done, I've talked about all the three types of robberies for 1970. Then it increased quickly and reached 1 million in the year 1990. So of course we're talking about car theft. Okay, it increased quickly and reached to 1 million. This is 1990. It reached here. Okay, after that it says, after which it started to soar to 1.6 million in 1995. Then 1995 it reached to 1.6 million. Now I've talked about the 1970 for all the three crimes, and I've covered this car theft, the blue one, right? Let's see how we have to write the second body paragraph. In the second body paragraph we have said, however, in the rest years the crime rate of the car theft declined dramatically. Means after the rest years, means these remaining years here, it declined, right? So that is finished. Now figure, after that it says, as to the number of house burglary, means the yellow one, a similar trend with the figure for car theft in the first 10-year period. As to the number of houses for the burglary, this one here, it experienced a similar trend with the figure for that of car theft. Similar trend means it started to increase for the first 10 years, means from 1970 to 1980. This one here, it increased, right? While the number fluctuated and then dropped slowly to 0.5 in 2005. Now after that, what I've said is number fluctuated, because see, it's going down and then going up and going down, and then I've talked about the last point. So see, I've talked about the first point, and in middle I've talked about this, and I've ignored this data a little bit and then talked about the last point, right? Now coming on to this one, when it comes to the number of street robberies, so we have only talked about the beginning of the street robberies. So let's see what it is. It remained stable until 1990. Means this street gray line, street robbery, it remained stable until 1990. Okay, yes, see, it's almost the same. Okay, afterward there was a slight increase of 0.8 million in the following years. Means from 1990 it started to increase, right? And it reached to 0.2, which is an increase of 0.8 million in the next few years. Means from here to here it increased 0.8, okay, million. So see what I've done. Again, I'm going to explain it to you. In the first body paragraph I've talked about the beginning or the starting point of all three crimes, and then I have covered until here, right? The car theft. In the second body paragraph I've finished this car theft until here, and I've started to talk about this house burglary, and I've said that, you know, the similar trend was followed like this and increased until 1980, and then it fluctuated. See, from 1980 to 1985 it's coming down, then going up, then coming down, and I've talked about the last point. So see, what I'm making sure that I'm talking about the beginning at the ending point. Okay, very important. Similarly, for the street robbery, I've already mentioned that 1970 in the first body paragraph. After that, what I've said, it will be the same until 1990. From 1990 it started to increase here, and it will reach here in 2005. So again, I have talked about the beginning and the finishing point, right? Very, very important, guys. Please note this, okay? And of course, you have to make sure that you're using the connecting words like however, okay, as to the number, or afterwards. Okay, very important. I hope you have understood how to write the line graphs. If you still have any questions, please do let us know in the comment sections below. Thank you so much for your time, everyone.